just 3 of us.
No, there's not 2 cats.
2 big old heads on there.
All right. Well, so excited to share with you guys about attraction marketing and how you can incorporate it into your business and learn how to show about the business and the products in your life all in one. So first, I know we chatted a little bit last week about curiosity posts, but I just wanted to touch on it again because can you hear all the traffic in the background?
No.
Okay.
Poor little Beeb.
This is what she's doing to her books, like eating them.
You're like, this isn't going to last long, but here we are. Okay, let's do it.
Here we are. But with curiosity posting, you're more talking about the benefits of the product or the benefits of the business. For example, if you're talking about like the Skinny Brew or the keto coffee, you would talk about like a coffee that gives me more energy and focus, keeps me full, instead of saying this is keto coffee and this is why you need it, so buy it. So a curiosity post is more talking about the benefits of either the products or the business and not doing a call to action on the end, which means not saying I have 4 spots for 40% off, or I want to work with 4 more people. You leave that off. That way people are curious and then they will ask you questions by either commenting or messaging you. So I really like to do that, mix it in a few times a week with all my other posts.
I love that. And really what attraction marketing is to try and leave something to be, talked about between yourself and your prospect. So when you are marketing on social media, you don't really know who is watching your post or who's interested in your post. So if you give it all up front in your posting style, people can go and then do their own independent research. They can go to Google, they can go to Amazon, they can go somewhere else and find either information or just your product. And then you have no idea how many leads you truly have. Whereas if you don't give it away all up front, the person is forced to come to you with their curiosity and ask you for more info. Because you can't Google, what is this coffee that my friend Jenna is drinking to give her more energy? You can't Google that, but you can Google It Works Keto Coffee, right? So we're not trying to hide anything from anyone with attraction marketing. We're not trying to be sneaky. What we are trying to do is create and raise some curiosity so that we actually have people reaching out to us rather than us always having to reach out to them. So a curiosity post is a really great example of doing some attraction marketing because you're literally attracting people's curiosity to you and forcing them to ask you questions. So I really appreciate that you brought that up, Jenna. And I always love your curiosity posts. They're so great. And it's also an opportunity for us to tell a story, right? If we're talking not always about ourselves, but we're saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my friend Kat. She's down 20 pounds and she started drinking Skinny Brew. She feels amazing. We get to share and celebrate each other's success and create curiosity at the same time.
Yes, I love that. And then, sorry, had a brain fart.
No, that's okay. I totally interrupted your train of thought, but I just wanted people to understand what we're trying to achieve with attraction marketing and why we even do it.
Yeah. And then that way you do get more people reaching out to you. And I never really understood that in the beginning, but it really does make sense to leave people curious on what it is exactly that you're doing and exactly what the products are. So then, like Krista said, they're not Googling it or just going to itworks.com and buying it off the site, because then you've lost that person as a potential because they just ordered it through the corporate website.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe they're not even getting the product that they need. Maybe they need 3 products and they're only buying 1 because they saw you post about it, right? So when we help them out, we give them the personal touch and we actually hopefully get them better results too.
Yeah. And that's why I always ask lots of questions too about What have they tried in the past that didn't work? How much weight do you want to lose to feel your best? What are your eating habits like? Because a lot of people are not eating very well, and they need more than one product to get results that they want if they're eating fast food every day or like not eating as well as they could, or they could really benefit from the greens. That's why I like talking to them and really adding that personal touch as well.
Absolutely. So there's what we do on it's like, if you're brand new to this business, what we do on the front end isn't the whole kit and caboodle. Like, there's everything that you see on the front end, and then there's everything that happens behind the scenes as well, right? So right now we're going to do a deep dive into, you know, how we make our profile look and why we choose to post the way we do. So what other kinds of posts do you like to do, Jenna, to do attraction marketing and do it well? So we've got curiosity posts. What else you got?
I also like to tell stories. They just did it in the It Works summer camp, where it was like, tell what was your life before you joined It Works, what is it like now, and where are you going? And it doesn't have to be specifically tied to It Works, but just casting the vision of, this is where my life was, this is where I am now, and this is where I'm going. People are attracted to other people who are dreaming and who are casting the vision. Like, I talk a lot about how before I was working full-time and working jobs on the weekends, and I was missing out on time with my family, and I never, like, it was never on my radar to be a stay-at-home mom until I became pregnant. And then I was so thankful to have extra income that allowed us to be able to make that transition and then talk about like where we want to go in the future. And you can tie it with all sorts of things, either like monetary or your confidence, really anything, because I really wasn't confident either before this, so I talk about that a lot too. So I really like telling stories. That way people can get to know you, because people want to buy products or join work with people who they know, like, and trust. And a lot of times the only way for them to do that is through reading your posts or your live videos as well.
You have to really think about, you know, who online do you like following? And it doesn't have to be someone in It Works. It can be anybody. You know, I follow a gal on Instagram that literally, she's one of my favorite writers, but she has nothing to do with this business at all. She writes about sober motherhood of all things, but she's very relatable. She's very real. She shares bits of her life. And so you have to really look at people whose content you enjoy reading. You know, who do you like following online? And then really ask yourself, why do you like following them? You know, chances are you really feel like you know who they are. And so by telling your story over and over again in lots of different ways, it doesn't have to necessarily be about the business, but like Jenna said, people can't really get to know you if you don't post quality content. So one of the things that I would say, you know, don't do this if you're doing it right now, is sharing a lot of content. So you'll hear this in other trainings, but I'm going to really elaborate on kind of why. If you share stuff all the time, like if you share a cooking video and you share a funny meme and you share your friend's posts, it's not your voice actually coming through in your Facebook profile. We don't know who you are. So the really good influencers on Instagram or Facebook, whether they're, again, in this business, not in this business, doesn't really matter, is that we want to always hear your voice coming through. You know, that's why you don't want to like copy and paste another leader's post and not change any of the words at all, because it's not even going to sound like you. And you have an audience that is your cold market that don't know you at all, but you have your warm market audience that do know you, and they do know how you talk normally, and they do know your voice. So it's important that you be yourself, but be your best self online. So creating your own content. So whether that's, you know, instead of sharing a quote you like, put a picture of your face up and put the quote in the text, you know, or put the quote up and then talk about what that quote means to you. Talk about your life. Again, if you are talking about the business, you want to talk about what your life was like before, because people are going to also see their why in you. You know, if you're somebody that's working 4 jobs like Jenna was, and you have a prospect that's working more than 40 hours a week, they're going to be like, you know, I never thought about marketing health and wellness products, but hey, I really don't like working, you know, 60 hours a week. So maybe this is something I should think about, you know. Stories are powerful. We want to evoke an emotion in our prospects that drives them to reach out to us. There's nothing very compelling about join my team. Right now it's 50% off. That doesn't mean anything to me in here, but reading, Kelsey Ullum's story about being a young broke mom and having a husband in law enforcement and her going through school, that makes me want to join her in this business. And I'm already in this business, so you have to really think about, like, how is someone going to feel when they come to my page? How are they going to feel, reading my posts? And if your posts are all copied and pasted from other leaders and there's nothing personal in there at all, there's nothing about your journey, why you started this business, what your life is really like, then there's nothing compelling that for them to want to reach out to you about. So it's really, really important that you think about why, you're posting each post. I'd rather see people have less posts and have them be of high quality than just pump out posts consistently that aren't quality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another way to look at it is, would you follow you or want to be your friend on Facebook by looking at your profile, or would you even know anything about you and your life and your likes or dislikes by looking at your profile? And then if you think about that before you do a post, then you'll really realize if you're doing quality posts or not. Because if you kind of like, I wouldn't want to read this, then other people aren't going to want to read it either. And that has really helped me change the way I post too, to really think about my audience as well and what I want to follow me.
Like, it's fairly common sense, but you really have to be objective to the situation, like really actually look at it as if you're a different person, and I think that's what you've done, Jenna, because you've always taken your business really seriously, is like actually look at your page and pretend you don't know yourself, so, and not every post has to be this like long novel about why you joined the business. That's not what I'm trying to get at. You'll see me post quick little quotes or, a picture of me doing something fun. Again, you still want your Facebook to feel like your Facebook. It's not the Facebook of It Works. Not every post is going to be a business post, because again, we're trying to get your audience to get to know you, and that's part of attraction marketing. So you can mix it up. Again, not every post has to be about your why. Not every post has to be this 5-paragraph long essay about your life and blah, 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 but you just want to be able to come to the page, have it be pretty. It should be an attractive page to look at. A bunch of shared content and crappy photos are not, I'm sorry to say, it is not an attractive profile. And so again, notice what you like about somebody else's profile. Do they have sort of a color theme going on? Like, is it all black and whites? Is it, is it all bright colors? Like, what is the theme there? What are their photos like? I think we all are worried to a certain extent about, like, are people going to think I'm like obsessed with myself? Like, if I share like only selfies, but the reality is people really want to see who you are, who's the person behind the posts, so if you look at, again, influencers that you follow, most of their photos are photos of themselves. They really are. You'll get the odd family photo of their kids, photo of what they're up to or eating or this and that. But the majority of their photos are photos of them, because people want to know, they want to see you. They want to know you. Your page is all about you. So embrace that and make friends with that. It's a little uncomfortable at first, but honestly, they want to see what you're up to, and again, how do they know who you are if you don't share about what you're up to? So one of the things that in my notes I wrote is, like, I'm going to give some examples real quick, and you can go check out these leaders' profiles if you'd like. So when I go to Sarah Clark's page, Sarah Clark's Triple Diamond with our team, I know that she loves being a stay-at-home mom, and she's a pretty low-key person and spends a lot of time with her kids. She loves to bake. She loves to plan activities for her kids. She's a stay-at-home mom, and she loves that. Kelsey Ullum, again, I'm going to use her as an example. She's a mental health warrior. She had postpartum psychosis after her first kid. She was a young mom. She's a mom of 4, and she's Southern. Like, that about her when you read her posts. She has a very distinct point of view. She's funny. I felt like I knew Kelsey long before I ever met her in person. And that's what you want people to feel when they come to your page. Jade Hooper, she's famous for being a hot mess mom. She never really does her makeup. She looks like a slob 98% of the time. She's got her 3 kids running around like crazy, but she's actually using that as a tool to show how easy this business is to incorporate into your life. So it's actually genius. But that is her thing. She's not the mom with the lash extensions and, you know, the perfectly curled hair. She really just isn't, you know, but she still takes attractive photos. She's very like, says it like it is. She keeps it very real. You know exactly who Jade Hooper is the minute you read her profile. So go read those profiles and really kind of see that and figure out what's unique and special about me that I can share. And it doesn't have to be like this earth-shattering thing. You know, for me, you guys, I'm a plant-based eater. You know, I like my boxing, as Kat knows. You know, I have a giant family and I'm very social. So I do see my friends a lot. I don't have kids, so I have time for all that stuff. So I post about that stuff. You know, you're going to see pictures of my dad on my Facebook. You're going to see pictures of me working out and eating healthy because that's what I like to do, you know? So people know that and they feel like they can interact with me over those topics. What is it for you that you love? Is it home decor? Is it, you know, being a mom? Is it, you know, your day job? Like that's something you can talk about. Pick a few things. You'll often hear people like Alyssa Wilbur talk about the 5 pillars. Pick a few topics that you love posting about and post about them regularly, you know?
Yeah. And I know when
Yeah.
I first started, it took me a long time to figure out, because I felt like I'm just a girl who's working full time as a physical therapy assistant. Like there's nothing special about me. But by digging in and really sitting down and thinking about, okay, what are my 5 things that encompass me? And I actually did a Facebook post and was like, describe me in 1 word, and just saw what people would say, or like if you think of me, like what comes to mind, because sometimes it's hard to think view yourself about like
Yes,
being
it is
special
hard.
in a certain way. It is hard. So that's where I got a lot of my ideas from, and then figuring out what works and what doesn't work for you, which takes some trial and error, but it's really helpful once you figure it out.
Absolutely. And, you know, like, again, you don't have to be super outgoing. You don't have to be this big personality, and you don't have to have a super crazy, powerful story, because at the end of the day, we're trying to relate to real people, you know? So Jenna, you saying like, I'm just like a normal girl that works full time. Like I felt that way too. Like I'm just like a normal person. Like why would anyone care to read about my story? You know, but at the end of the day, who are we looking to help? Regular people, right? Who have probably never run a business before, people just like us. So, you know, you may be that person who has the story that someone relates to more than they relate to any of the existing leaders' stories. You just don't know. So you got to share it like you are that leader already, you know, post like the leader you want to be already, kind of a thing. So you may think no one cares or that you don't have anything that interesting about yourself. But that's very normal. And like Jenna said, it's okay if it doesn't come together for you right away and you're not the perfect attraction marketer right away, you know? But this is what we're working towards, and it's a really powerful tool. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about too is photos. So photos are very powerful. You don't have to be a professional photographer, and you don't have to be like producing amazing photo content all the time. But you do want to have some decent photos. So for some people that involves buying like an expensive set of presets. You can find them on Etsy, or you can find them on Instagram. Once you have them though, which is kind of nice. And just makes editing your photos really, really simple and easy. Brightens them up a lot of the time. What you want to look for is like clear, bright photos. I try to think like a photographer. I try to get natural light whenever I can. So if I'm in my house, I go near a window to take a selfie. I try to just clean out some of the crap in the background. You know, if I'm taking a photo, I try to, you know, get rid of the random bag hanging off a chair and the dirty laundry that's in the corner, and just, you know, make it work. You know, and again, most of them are of me. So I have a cache of favorite selfies, and I have them in an album. So when I'm struggling to think of what to post, I can at least have a photo of myself that I like that's ready to go, that I can just throw up at any time. And you can reuse photos, that's totally fine. Any other images that you're sharing on Facebook should be of high quality as well. So, you know, when you're posting about the giveaways or you're posting about, you know, food that you're eating or home decor inspiration that you love, it should all be of a certain caliber. So clear and bright and crisp, you know, number one. And number two, neat. So like, unless you're specifically doing a lifestyle post about like being a stay-at-home mom and your house being a disaster, like it's on purpose, you know, make sure your background is tight. There's tons of YouTube tutorials on how to take a decent photo, and it doesn't take a lot of time to invest. And once you get the hang of it, you know it. So just pay attention to what your photo quality is like, you guys. And that's all I have to say for now. Jenna, you want to pass back?
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it because we covered profiles, what attraction marketing is, curiosity posts, and kind of like the broad spectrum of attraction marketing. I know there's a lot of different aspects of attraction marketing, so this could be like a super long Zoom, but we just wanted to hit the major key points that people have a lot of questions about.
Haley's like, I don't like it. I have one more quick thing to say about attraction marketing, and I'll tell you that Jenna and I started not doing attraction marketing. Okay, so this is all things we've learned in the last like 3 years. When we started, our posts were spammy as hell, and we still moved forward because we were ignorance on fire and we were passionate, and that excitement is contagious. Happiness is infectious. So if you are happy and excited on your timeline, people want to be around that energy no matter what. So think about that as you're moving forward in your posting and your videos. We really, you know, we did a lot of pictures of products. We did a lot of copy and paste, you know, posts. We did a lot of it works posts. You know, we branded ourselves as the company rather than as ourselves. So now what we are doing is we're selling ourselves, but we happen to be people that work for the company, right? So when you're talking to potential business partners, when you're posting for those people, you are marketing you, they're going to join you, you know, and you happen to be affiliated with a health and wellness company. And that's really the bottom line. So when we started, we were all about, you know, here's this picture of this product. Here's what it is. No, you really want to talk about here's what it does. Like Jenna said earlier about the coffee, like you're like sitting there with your coffee and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that. This gives me so much energy and focus, you know, since I started, amazing. Not a picture of the keto coffee packet, because why do they care? Why are they buying a packet of keto coffee? That's not what they're buying. They're buying the feeling of feeling mentally clear and having energy. That is what they're actually buying. So we want to market what it does, not what it is, right? Same with the business. You know, when we talk about making money from home, we are talking about the ability to never miss a moment with your baby, to not have someone else take care of your baby. We're talking about the free, you know, like right now, I literally just got to Campbell River, which is a town 3 hours away. I'm in my father-in-law's spare bedroom upstairs, and I'm doing this Zoom because I have the freedom to be able to decide to do that. You know, I had the freedom to go boxing at noon today. And if I had a 9-to-5 job, I wouldn't be able to do that, you know? So we are selling the features and the benefits of running an online business, not, hey, join my team. It's only $99 and this is the kit of products you get, right? We're trying to teach you guys a more powerful way of marketing what you have to offer and of creating value for the people that are watching you. You want them to have a reason to want to reach out to you. You want to be able to have a solution for the problem that they have, be it that they don't have enough energy, that they want to lose weight, that they don't have enough money to pay their bills, you know, or they don't have the freedom in their life that they desire, or any number of reasons. So really thinking about not posting so much about it works, not posting about what the product is, not posting about, you know, the fact that the business opportunity costs $99 to join and blah, blah, blah. It's really just sharing your life and how, you know, how it's benefiting your life all the time, you know, and you don't have to necessarily talk about the business in order to showcase that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll be attracting higher quality potential distributors
That's
But then
actually a
people who
great
just
point.
want fast cash or get rich overnight, which this actually takes work and all of that.
Consistency.
Yeah, and consistency.
Does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about? I know we've kind of like hit it fast and furious here, but
I only have one question, ladies, because this is all great information, but what are your thoughts on how often you should post in any one day on your Facebook? I know stories can be kind of easy peasy. We can do that, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, whatever. But in terms of our Facebook page,
I usually do 1 to 2 quality posts a day. I do aim for 2. Again, with attraction marketing, it's more about quality than it is about quantity. So like, just as an example, Jenna and I used to be taught to post like 6 times a day, every single day. And so sometimes we were literally just posting to like have something to put up, and stories weren't around then. So in order to expose people to the products and this and that, we did post a lot. So now, again, with a good lifestyle post, often you can incorporate talking about your business and talking about your life in the same post. So if you did one really bomb, lifestyle post in a day, that would be, in my opinion, I would definitely love to hear Jenna's thoughts. Keeping in mind, if you're utilizing Host to Post, you're having other people post for you to get your potential. So you don't need to post a ton on your own wall to run an effective business, if that makes sense.
thank you.
And I agree with that. Like, I try and do either 1 post and 1 live video or 2 posts and make sure that they're quality. And then also, because if you post too many back to back, then that drops down how many less people will see the first post you did. So you don't want to post back to back either.
And actually, you just reminded me of something. So thank you for that tip. You also don't want to try to post too much about the business at one time. Like, I try to alternate, and I know Jenna does this too. I kind of try to alternate like a totally non-related post and then a business post. If I can, I'm not going to beat myself up about it, but like today I posted about the giveaway. So tonight I'll post probably like a family photo, I'm up island, and then tomorrow morning I could post about the keto coffee, so just trying to kind of alternate like how you post too. So like, if you post once about your lifestyle and kind of like it works, then the next one should be business, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I like to do that too. That way it's not just like
a barrage of business stuff.
Yeah. And just like sprinkling it. That's why I like the curiosity post too, where you're just like sprinkling things in, and kind of how Ray talks about the I don't know how you word it, but like mumbling, but in a profiting way, where you just say something about like, oh, I'm working from home, or working online, or doing a Zoom with coworkers, like something small where if someone's looking for that, they're going to reach out to you, and other people just won't even notice.
Yeah, rather than be like, hey, I've got this business that I work from home. Like, you kind of want people to be like, hang on, what did she just say about working from home and getting paid?
Yeah.
Like, when I look at like, again, like Sarah Clark's feed or Jenna's feed, I'm like, oh, like they're home with their kids all the time. Like, you can see that because of how they post and how their stories are. You're like, wow, like they really are getting paid to like be with their kids full time. Like, you don't need a ton of posts about that, and you don't need to always say it. You're just showing it. So that's where stories come in so handy as well. But anyways, I'm getting like way off track. But you don't have to like shout it from the rooftops in order for it to be effective, I think is what you're saying. And I think I absolutely 100% agree.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm excited for you guys to learn all these new skills. Attraction marketing is, again, something that I feel like it does take time to learn. And again, I didn't learn it just from watching like one Zoom. It came from hopping on a few different trainings and definitely some trial and error for sure. And again, just really trying to emulate people's styles that I admire that do attraction marketing. So if you do have more questions for us, like please send them to us. We'd be happy to answer anything that we didn't in this Zoom. But yeah, if there's nothing else, like I just want to say thank you so much for bringing this topic to us, Kat, and thanks for doing such a great job, Jenna, of organizing always these calls. I'm really enjoying looking forward to them every week. So yeah, is that all, babe, you think?
Yeah, I think that was all. And we look forward to meeting up with everybody next week.